In today's day and age of 2019, where exorbitant microtransactions are beginning, or not so beginning, have started to riddle all of the sports games, I ask myself this question. Should sports games still cost $60 in 2019? Let's get into it. First off, with this video, I do want to say this is a video that I'm planning to make for quite some time now. It's always something that I thought to myself. I talked about it with a few other people, but finally with my workload, my schedule being kind of open for the time being, I thought maybe I would finally want to put out this video, and one specific event led me to make this video. If you guys are coming from a different channel, community, whatever it may be, I primarily cover MLB The Show on this channel. Recently, they said online franchise is not returning. Second straight year, online franchise is not going to be in the game. Pretty much the most fundamental mode of franchise or anything. Just think core sports game, a franchise, building a team, season mode, a franchise. You can't play it online. Just like you can in every single other sports game. It's 2019. Pretty much every single game has some multiplayer features. Online franchise is not going to be in the game. Second year in a row. At this point, it looks like they're probably not going to add it for the foreseeable future. So yeah. And that kind of pushed me to think of all the ridiculous practices that have been going on in sports games within the past, I don't know, 6, 7-ish years. It's been going on for quite some time, but I think it's really topping out to the point where I think it's just ridiculous, and I really wanted to talk about it. So the two main points that I will be talking about is offline game modes and microtransactions, because at the core of it, this is where all of these things start. So first of all, offline game modes. Believe it or not, a lot of people, yes, all the people on Twitter, all the people on those social media sites, you probably see them talking about Madden Ultimate Team, Diamond Dynasty, FIFA Ultimate Team, My Team, all of those. They see them talking about the online game modes. What if I told you that on all those games, all those sports games, they're not the most popular mode? Road to the Show is the most popular mode in MLB The Show. I believe My Career is definitely the most popular mode. And I know there's online features too, but a lot of people play just the regular My Career. Franchise is very popular in Madden Ultimate Team. So the offline game modes are really popular. So tell me why this is. Why don't they get touched? Why don't they ever do anything to them? And I'm not going to say that they never add anything. I do want to actually give props to 2K. Within the last 2 years, you guys have actually added a lot of stuff. Personally, and I do want to say the 3 sports games I played the most, and I've been playing sports games for quite some time. I know you might see me, I'm only 17 years old. I've been playing sports games pretty much my whole life. They're mainly the only video games that I play, so I played them for about a decade now, probably since about 2008, 2007, somewhere around there. So I'm definitely well versed on what I am talking about, but my 3 primary sports games are MLB The Show, Madden, and 2K. So those are the ones I'm mainly going to be talking about. I might reference some other ones, but those are the 3 that I'm most familiar with. But 2K, gotta give them credit. They actually added some good amount of content to My League. I play My League a lot. That's the most played game mode that I have in 2K is My League. I have a whole My League. I've played about 148-minute games. Actually pretty fun. I enjoy it because they add new stuff and they actually keep it fresh. Obviously, they don't have like mid-year updates like they do for my team, but that's understandable. They added a lot of stuff before in 2K19, and I applaud you guys on that. Can't say the same for Madden and MLB The Show. MLB The Show, it's ridiculous. And it's the sad thing because this is the one that I know the most. This is kind of the first sports game that I really got heavily fixated in. They really don't touch their game modes. Road to the Show came in 08. It really hasn't changed much. They added an archetype system this year. They added in 17 just some bland cutscenes, really doesn't add anything to the game. I guess they added the rookie showcase. That was probably when it came to PS4 maybe. I think that's when, maybe it was the year before or a couple years before. But they really haven't added anything groundbreaking in Road to the Show. I'm not asking for a full-blown story mode Spike Lee like 2K16. I'm just asking for some actual content, some actual effort. Franchise mode, you can't relocate, you can't expand. We're finally getting contract extensions this year, and that was one of the title things that they talked about. And the fact that we are just getting contract extensions, one of the most basic things in all sports is extending contracts mid-season. We're finally getting that in MLB The Show 19. MLB The Show's first game, 06. It's been 13 years, and we're finally getting those. Madden, also, I played the Superstar game modes back in like 08, back around those times. It's ridiculous how that had more content and this was just more realistic, more finely tuned than it is now. Now all we have is a cutscene simulator and long shot game mode. A quick time event fest. That's really all it is. And it's ridiculous. They're a connected franchise. It can be played online, unlike MLB The Show. But it's barren. It's not very good. It's better than MLB The Show. I would probably rank them 2K, Madden, MLB The Show based on content. But they don't really add anything. It's pretty much been the same. Yeah, they do add a couple features, and that's the same thing. Every sports game, they add a couple measly features every year, so it makes it look like, because people would be like, oh, you literally didn't touch it. What are you talking about? We added a new draft board, so it looks, we added a new user interface to the draft board. What? That's not content. That's being lazy. Why is this happening? Microtransactions. Like I said, in all of these online game modes, they offer pretty much its card like team building game modes like Ultimate Team, Diamond Dynasty, My Team, where you can spend real life money. I remember 2K13 was the first year they introduced VC, the first year My Team came about, and that's kind of where 2K had its downfall, where they started really just being greedy, and that's kind of the bottom line for all sports gaming companies. They're getting greedy. They want to milk all their consumers dry, forcing and shoving down all of this down their throat, because it's ridiculous. I hop in a pregame for a 2K game, and I see a VC sale advertisement by Shaq, Ernie, and Kenny. And then I go on Madden Ultimate Team. First thing I go when I log in, Ultimate Legend Barry Sanders or whoever it may be. Like, buy packs now. They just shove it down the throat. And I used to think that's ridiculous. People are over-exaggerating. No, it's not. A lot of people don't want to see that. A lot of people don't care about these online game modes, but you're constantly showing them, oh, look at this that you can buy. Look at that you can buy. Look at all this stuff that you can buy with real-life money. And it's sad. The reason why they're not updating those other offline game modes is because it doesn't make them money like this makes them money. But now we get into the core part of this video. The question I asked you at the start: should sports games still cost $60? Let me know down below in the comments your opinion. Here's my opinion. No, they should not. I have 3 propositions of how they could fix just the sports game in general, because at this point it seems like they really just don't want to add more content to the offline game modes. If they were willing to do that, I'd be like, sure, $60 every single year, that's fine. That's, you know, that's okay. I can justify that. But the fact that they don't care about offline game modes and they just add content to their modes that offer microtransactions, basically like a mobile game, it makes me have these 3 propositions. The first one, it's going to be separating church and state. Basically, we're going to call this the Fortnite proposition. Basically, if you guys do not know, they have Battle Royale and they have Save the World. Battle Royale is free for all players. So if you download the game, you can play Battle Royale for free. Save the World, I think it's like $15. It might be more. I think it's $15 though, but this would basically be meaning we're going to take Madden 19, Madden Ultimate Team, Madden 19, all the offline game modes. Basically make Ultimate Team free, and this goes My Team, Diamond Dynasty, the online team building game mode that they have. Just like how they have Madden Mobile, 2K, or NBA Live Mobile, I know they have too. I think 2K has one of those too. But we're going to separate that from the core game, and we're going to make the core game like $30 or $40. I think $40 would be a fair price. Obviously, if they want to start adding content, sure, combine it back together and make it $60. I can totally justify that. But if you guys don't want to do that because you guys only care about microtransactions, this is the way to go. People will still buy plenty of microtransactions, as you guys know, because just look at the sales numbers. EA makes exorbitant amounts of money from their microtransactions, from FIFA Ultimate Team, Madden Ultimate Team, all those. And every company does. Obviously, like the more popular games, I think FIFA probably makes the most because that's the most popular sports game. Or actually, 2K might actually make more. But anyway, you guys get the point. They make so much money off microtransactions, they can definitely justify offering it for free. And the thing that would make this desirable is for those offline players, the game is cheaper and it's more cost effective. They can more justify paying $40 for a lesson game because they really aren't adding much into the game. So, and for a sense, it's almost like a $40 roster update if you guys aren't going to actually add any new features. So that's like a $20 off price tag. And then for the online players, you're getting the game for free. And I know what you're going to say. What about the $60 that they're losing out? Trust me, if they're getting that game for free, just like Fortnite, how many people shell so much money in for skins, they'll be more than willing to spend a lot of money for cards that literally enhance their performance. So I think this would be a great opportunity, a great thing they could do. Second proposition is have the game come out every other year. Basically, instead of having Madden 19, we'd have Madden 20, Madden 21 would be the next one. We would skip a year. And this is going to allow for a couple of things. It's going to have more developer time. So if that's what is needed, and I think a lot of the time that could be an issue where, you know, going year to year, it could be kind of difficult because they don't have too much time to implement new features in the offline game modes. And if that's the case, make it every other year. You can still charge $60 for it. We're not going to separate in this situation. And they can just update the game through obviously through online, they can update the rosters, so you're not going to have to worry about that. And like the Ultimate Team style game modes, they can still get updated. Once again, that's all online. So in this way, it would just make it so there's more developer time. So hopefully in the next title, there would be, you know, there would basically just be more content, more time to make content for it. And it would also help the consumer out. But at the same point, you still have those precious microtransactions that still make you plenty of money. And finally, this is the simple and most basic. It's not going to be $60. This is the least likely thing that I possibly could see, is making it like $40 just combined in total. I don't see this happening. Do I think it should happen? Probably. If you're going to come out with watered down yearly releases of sports games every year, it should be $40. I think NBA Live did this when they made their comeback last year. I think they started off at like $45. It wasn't $60. They did not go retail at $60 because if they did, nobody would have bought that game. Nobody would have bought that game because everybody was getting 2K, so they were smart. They made it a bit cheaper, and that helped out their sales. Obviously, you're not going to make as much from every single game sale, but in this case, I know a lot of people are tired of spending $60 every year, especially if they're an offline player, for pretty much the same thing. The graphics, they look pretty much the same. The rosters, I can update that myself. The features, okay, there's a few quality of life changes, nothing really too major. So I could completely justify somebody not wanting to shell out $60 every year for the same watered down content that they got the year before. I can definitely see that. But that probably is going to wrap up this video. It was a little bit of a longer one, but I hope I explained myself pretty well. Bottom line, the most realistic proposition that I had would be the Fortnite method, separating the online from the actual game and having that be a reduced price. Do I actually think this would happen? Maybe. Maybe. If the game sales in itself go down so much to a point, I could see this happening, but I just think it's ridiculous in my personal opinion, and I would love to hear what you guys think down below in the comment section. Should sports games still be $60? I think if they aren't adding things to their actual core game, their offline game modes, like the franchise, the season modes, all of that jazz, I can't justify them charging $60 for basically the same game they're coming out with every year. If their only focus is their online game modes that have microtransactions, and that's how they get their money, that's how they get their monetary revenue, then I can't see $60 being a fair price tag. Obviously, it comes down to corporate greed. Obviously, they want to keep the game at $60, milk as much money out of people as possible. But in my personal opinion, for the consumer, I think game sales would be much up, and I think the consumers would be a lot happier Or you could just add more content in every year and people would be happy. That's another idea. But if you guys did enjoy this video, once again, let me know everything down below in the comments, how you guys are feeling about what I talked about, any questions, comments, concerns, anything about that sort. But if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to like down below. Hope you guys have a great day. And there you guys, I'm out. Yeet.